In the quiet hours before dawn, a young scholar sits hunched over ancient texts in a dimly lit monastery library. The weathered pages before him contain wisdom passed down through countless generations. These are not ordinary teachings, but sacred principles that have guided humanity's most enlightened minds for millennia. What he discovers within these manuscripts will challenge everything modern society tells us about communication and relationships. Hidden among the faded ink and time-worn parchment lie 5 fundamental truths that most people unknowingly violate every single day. These violations don't just harm relationships. They destroy trust, sabotage success, and leave lasting scars that can take years to heal. Tonight, we're going to explore these 5 sacred boundaries that should never be crossed. These aren't suggestions or guidelines. They are absolute principles that separate those who thrive in life from those who struggle endlessly with broken relationships and missed opportunities. The monastery bell chimes softly in the distance as our scholar continues his research. What he uncovers next will fundamentally change how you view every conversation for the rest of your life. The first forbidden revelation centers on your deepest vulnerabilities and fears. In our interconnected world, we're constantly pressured to share everything. Social media encourages us to broadcast our thoughts, feelings, and experiences without filter. But there exists a sacred boundary that wise individuals have always respected. Your innermost fears and insecurities should never be revealed to just anyone. These vulnerabilities represent the most tender parts of your soul. When shared carelessly, they become weapons in the wrong hands. The scholar discovers account after account of individuals whose lives were destroyed because they trusted the wrong person with their deepest concerns. Consider the executive who confided his fear of public speaking to a colleague he considered a friend. Within weeks, that colleague used this information to undermine his credibility during important presentations. Or the young woman who shared her anxiety about her appearance with someone she trusted, only to have those insecurities weaponized against her during their eventual falling out. The ancient texts reveal a consistent pattern. Those who guard their vulnerabilities carefully tend to maintain stronger positions in both personal and professional relationships. They're seen as more confident and capable because they don't broadcast their weaknesses to the world. This doesn't mean living in isolation or avoiding meaningful connections. It means being extremely selective about who earns the privilege of knowing your deepest concerns. True friends and trusted advisors will prove themselves worthy of this knowledge through their actions over time, not through their promises or initial charm. The second forbidden territory involves your future plans and ambitions before they're fully developed. The manuscripts contain numerous warnings about sharing dreams and goals prematurely. There's a mystical quality to this wisdom that transcends mere strategy. When you announce your intentions before taking action, you inadvertently drain the energy needed to accomplish them. The ancient scholars understood something that modern psychology is only beginning to recognize. The act of talking about your goals can trick your brain into feeling as though you've already achieved them, reducing your motivation to actually pursue them. Beyond this psychological phenomenon lies a more practical danger. Premature disclosure of your plans invites interference, competition, and sabotage from those who may not have your best interests at heart. The scholar reads account after account of individuals whose dreams were stolen, undermined, or corrupted because they shared them too early with the wrong people. A merchant who revealed his innovative business concept at a dinner party watched helplessly as a wealthier rival brought the same idea to market months before him. A student who shared her thesis topic with classmates found herself competing against their similar. And projects artist who described his vision for a revolutionary painting discovered that another had produced something remarkably similar before he could complete his own work. The wisdom contained in these ancient pages suggests that plans should be kept sacred until they reach a certain level of completion or commitment. Only then should they be shared, and only with those who have proven themselves worthy of such trust. This principle extends beyond major life goals to include smaller ambitions and projects. The energy required to manifest your desires is precious and finite. Guard it carefully and watch how much more effectively you can bring your visions to life. The scholar turns another page, and the candlelight flickers across more revelations that will reshape how you think about communication forever. The third sacred boundary involves your personal financial situation and monetary struggles. As the scholar traces his finger along the faded text, he uncovers testimonies from merchants, nobles, and common folk alike who learned this lesson through devastating consequences. Money carries a peculiar power that transforms relationships in ways few anticipate. The moment you reveal your financial vulnerabilities, you shift the entire dynamic of every interaction that follows. Those who know of your struggles may begin to see you as desperate or unreliable. Others might view you as a target for manipulation or exploitation. The manuscripts tell of a craftsman who confided his mounting debts to what he believed was a trusted friend. Within days, that friend began offering work at rates far below market value, knowing the craftsman had no choice but to accept. The power balance shifted permanently, turning a relationship of equals into one of dependence and resentment. Conversely, revealing unexpected wealth creates its own set of problems. The scholar reads of a widow who inherited substantial property and made the mistake of sharing this news too broadly. Soon, distant relatives emerged with sob stories and demands. Friends began treating her differently, either with newfound deference that felt hollow or with subtle resentment that poisoned their connections. The ancient wisdom suggests that financial information should remain compartmentalized. Only those who absolutely need to know for legitimate business or legal reasons should be privy to your true financial position. This boundary protects not just your assets, but the authenticity of your relationships. People should value you for who you are, not what you possess or lack. When financial information enters the equation too early, it contaminates the natural development of trust and mutual respect. The fourth forbidden revelation concerns your family's private conflicts and intimate details. The weathered pages contain countless warnings about the destruction that follows when family secrets are shared carelessly with outsiders. Every family carries its own collection of struggles, disappointments, and complicated dynamics. These internal matters represent sacred trust that binds family members together, even during difficult times. When you share these private details with friends, colleagues, or acquaintances, you violate something fundamental and irreversible. The scholar discovers the account of a young man who regularly complained about his father's drinking problem to his co-workers. He thought he was simply venting frustration, but his loose tongue eventually reached the wrong ears. The information made its way back to his father's business associates, damaging professional relationships and ultimately costing the family their primary source of income. The scholar closes the ancient manuscript as the first rays of dawn filter through the monastery windows. The candle has burned low, but the wisdom contained within these pages will illuminate countless lives for generations to come. These 5 sacred boundaries represent more than mere guidelines. They are the foundation upon which lasting relationships and enduring success are built. Guard your vulnerabilities, protect your dreams, shield your finances, preserve your family's dignity, and honor the trust others place in you. In a world that demands constant sharing and transparency, those who understand the power of sacred silence will always hold the advantage.